Yeah. Man, I hate the Cowgirls. I can't even front, right? If you've been watching this channel, you know that for a fact. I hate the Cowgirls. And I'm not even one of these dudes who get involved in like super fandom type shit, right? That's never been my thing, right? I'm always been a football player, so I give respect to any and every team. You know what I mean? Because I grew up watching like players and shit. Obviously, I'm an Eagles fan and all that, right? But I grew up watching players in college, you know what I mean? And being able to follow them like that. So, but something about the Cowgirls, right, I just cannot stand. But I have to give respect to those dudes who they have on the field. They have some very, very talented players on the field. None more so than the guy who I said was perhaps the most talented wide receiver I've ever been around, and that is one George Pickens. I said that in the first game. I was like, man, that's a huge pickup for them Bulls right there. That dude right there is a tough matchup for anyone, right? I don't think there's a weakness in his game, right? The weakness that he has is upstairs, right? I don't think he's working with a full deck. And I saw that shit when I was able to be around him in all-star games and camp settings and stuff like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like loco, you know what I'm saying? Got some shit going on there, but ain't got nothing to do with what he can do on the field. So I say that to say this. Sometimes it becomes about the Jimmys and Joes more than the X's and O's, right? Sometimes you can overcome things as a team, man. I hated that game, right? This is another one. I had to go back and look in the archives and be like, it was a game that I felt like this about, right? And I forgot the parameters around it. I went back and looked, right? It was that Broncos game that we lost. And I said that the staff has rabbit ears, right? Once again, another game where Jalen Hurts has like nearly 40 attempts, right? It was almost the same amount of attempts in that Broncos game, right? I can put it up here and kind of compare. That's not us, man. That's really not us. To me, you start leaving your defense out to dry. You're not establishing the line of scrimmage. We can't run the ball, man. Right? I'm not even saying we can't run the ball. Saquon Barkley, when he's in the game, we can't run the ball. And that's sad to say, but it's also something that I previewed before. I was saying when these dudes come off these 2,000-yard seasons, they don't be the same. Right? History has shown us that they're not the same that next year or probably the rest of their career. That doesn't mean that they still can't be great players, but very rarely are you going to get that similar type production. So you have to be able to mitigate that, and we could do that, right, by playing Tank Bigsby. You notice when he's in the game, it's just different. I'm not sure Saquon is actually seeing it, right? I'll bring up a couple of plays here on the film study. I barely even want to do this film study, John. It's funny. I said the same thing in the Denver Broncos loss, right? It's not because I'm a front runner or anything like that. It's just because I'd rather lose playing a type of ball that I know is championship-winning football than to go down in flames, right, with a 21-0 lead, go down in flames, passing the ball all around the yard. And once again, and I looked at surrounding the parameters surrounding that again, it was a lot of chatter about number 11, right? I barely even want to say bold name, right? Number 11, chatter around that, and then having to feed him. He had a similar amount of targets in that Broncos game, and we lost, right? We scored 17 points in that game, 21 points in this game. And the proof is in the pudding. We won last year because we could run the ball, establishing the run, being able to bleed clock, right? You pass the ball a ton of times, you're going to put yourself in harm's way. And it seems as though, right, beyond that, it seems as though that comes with a lot of undisciplined behavior, right? What was it, 14 penalties? Man, that was disgusting. That was a terrible game, man. I hate shit like that, bro. I cannot stand pre-snap penalties. Because that's some shit that you can control, right? Maybe shit that's post-snap, a referee might see it differently than what you think that you've done. But as far as the mental aspect of the game, pre-snap penalties, that shit should never happen, right? So you get to see up front what's going on there, right? Fred Johnson, right? People trying to sell me on Fred Johnson. I covered this bull when he was at Florida, right? Yeah, he may have a couple of stretches where he has some good games, but he's not that talented, right? He looks like he should be, you know what I'm saying, hell on wheels, right? A great NFL frame. But, man, some of the mental aspect, as you can see right there, he was getting his ass destroyed. Absolutely, he was getting that prison loving. He was false starting and pop locking and twerking and shit like that, bro. Like, Landon Dickerson had a bad game, a terrible game. Cam Jurgens didn't play that well. Once again, Tyler Steen's damn near flawless out there. So people will still have him like, oh, Mekhi Becton's not here and all this and that. They ain't got shit to do. That Mekhi Becton will play in that right guard spot. Right guard is the least of your issues. Right? You're going to have to look at the rest of them bulls. And that's, if you cannot win, if you cannot control the line of scrimmage, man, I'm sorry. Flipping that around to the defensive end, a tale of two halves again, right? But the offense started sputtering, the defense started going with it, right? And those boys are explosive, right? Beyond that, CeeDee Lamb, I mean, his hands is on backwards and shit these days, but we know how explosive he could be. The Turpin kid is explosive. Javonte Williams at the running back spot is explosive. There's a whole bunch of different parts to move with. And Daffy, that goofy ass, right? As much as you want to get on him, the boy can play some. He can play some football, man. I was just giving my respect to Dak Prescott. He can play some football. I mean, with those type of weapons, right? That's easily a good 1-2 punches we got with Devontae Smith and number 11, but you got to play your ball, right? You know what I mean? Man. Let's check some of this shit out right here, bro.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.
Listen, before I get started on some of these plays here, you all know me. I'm not the blame the refs guy, right? Like I said before, I really tapped into my years playing and carry it like that. This game right here, there was some unfortunate calls that, you know what I'm saying, I thought should have went the other way, right? Y'all remember on the last one, I was saying that it was a call that went against the opponent where I was like, damn, I don't think that was pass interference. It was on A.J. Brown, right? I actually thought, if anything, it should have been a no call or maybe something on A.J. Brown. So that's how I carry it. This particular play right here, I'm dumbfounded as to what happened right here, why this wasn't a penalty on CeeDee Lamb right here, right? Y'all remember this joint against Cooper DeJean? And listen, I finally got to see them play it the way I wanted to, with Cooper DeJean on the outside, Michael Carter on the inside, and of course Quinyon Mitchell on the other side. And that's what I would like to see moving forward. I'm sorry. You get to see Cooper DeJean involved in huge plays. Don't come to me talking about Cooper DeJean is the best in the NFL and the best cornerback on the team and all that shit. When you get to see him playing against nobodies in the slot, maybe assisting on a tackle here or whatever like that. He was involved in huge plays in this particular game against name brand players, against the elite. I want to see him compete with the elite, then really can see what Bull is about. And to me, he held his own, right? If this didn't go against him right here, now look at this. This is how egregious this is right here. Look, right? It's a 50-50 scenario. Cooper DeJean is in good position. Now, he's not turning to locate the ball, but you can play the ball on the way through the man. He's also not pass interfering. You know who is pass interfering? That would be CeeDee Lamb here, right? His hands is all up in this dude's face. Illegal hands to the face. Look, legal hands to the face right there. How is that not seen and called? What are we doing here, man? This shit is crazy. Look at that. He extended with hands to the face. Get the fuck out of here, man. That was a poor call. Imagine if that didn't happen, right? Now, I know, you know what I'm saying, we fumbled a couple of times as well, right? When you start factoring in turnovers and penalties and shit like that, you have nobody to blame but yourself, because that's some shit that you can control. But shit like this, man, that's out of your control, and that's a bad joint. Come on, man. You cannot say that's not offensive pass interference, even if you're a Cowgirls fan, right? Because if it was done to you just like this, you'd be like, you know what I'm saying, aggravated about this shit. This was a bad joint. This was telling to me. Is Saquon seeing it? Now, what you get right here is formation into the boundary. So you got the FIB here with some horses on the outside, right? As far as the blocking goes, you get a lead as well. You get a lead. You get these guys doing work on the inside, able to crease it off here and kind of work backside. Well, I'll just run this right here. Look at this. You see Steen and them working backside right there, and he tries to, I don't know, what is he doing? Why is he trying to hit a homer, trying to get to the outside? It was right there. Look. Boom. Pin. You get a pin by Mailata here. Pin. You got your pullers coming through with Dickerson and Steen. All right. You can see them continue to work. Just watch these two right here with Jurgens and Steen right here. Jurgens climbing. Mailata already has it pinned off. Steen's doing work, making sure that his man is at the very least slowed down. Then Mailata's able to switch to his man, and then Steen switches to the nearest guy right there. And then, look, that's perfect. That's creased off right here. That's creased off. Number 11 doing work. All them boys doing work. How can you not see this? This is going to be one-on-one, bro. You might actually break this shit right here, but instead, he wants to try to bounce it to the outside. Right? You not see this right here, right? What is going on? What is going on? Oh, man, this is terrible. It's tough to watch, man. This is how we win championships. This is why we won the title last year. Because of what we could do on the ground. It wasn't what we were doing with number 11 through the air. Listen, I'm only talking about my team of the Philadelphia Eagles. To me, all those passing stats, I call that empty calorie yards. It looks good to fantasy football players and casual fans, but what does it actually mean? Right? If you go through and look at it, yeah, you almost passed for 300 yards. You couldn't run the ball, and you only scored 21 points. What are we doing here? So if you look at this, right, it just seems to always be some type of breach. It's going to be a breach, and it's going to be Saquon Barkley's whose vision I'm questioning this year. Now, on this one right here, watch Jordan Mailata, right? He gets bench press, something serious back here. On this draw play, it makes Saquon Barkley then kind of have to chop it down and then try to get vert there. Fred Johnson, right? Swinging out the gate here, gets pressed outside, and the man takes an inside approach back into play, and Saquon Barkley pretty much met head on right there, right? Really nowhere to go with this, right? But they do their job up here. Cam Jurgens, Steen walls off, climbs up to the second level. This particular portion of the run game is solid, right? Besides Fred Johnson there. But just look what happens right here, man. How you going to win like this? Look at that. And then, of course, you get that pursuit in the middle, right? Coming through, right? Dropping down safety in the middle, having him help with it. But if you see right there already, Jordan Mailata bench press, right? And he's been having a suspect time too, right? This entire offensive line, in my opinion, minus Tyler Steen, has not played that well this year. Look at that right there. Saquon Barkley having to already ball get down because of Mailata's guy, and then you see Fred Johnson right here, heavy-legged waist bending, like I remember covering him in college. Look at that. Boom. Boy sticks that foot on the outside, and then look at him immediately start to bend at the waist, right? That's you ain't supposed to have no right angle. You're not supposed to have a right angle when you're pass proing, right? Or it's pass pro. It's a draw play, right? So it's pass pro within the run concept there. But as you can see right there, boom. He easily slides on that. He's able to get flat down the line of scrimmage and get on Saquon Barkley, and then gets bobbled a little help from his friends. Terrible. At the point of attack, the water is muddy. Look at it. You get Steen pulling around here, first thing smoking, right? He takes off the end man on the line of scrimmage, right? Disconnecting his spinal column. But then you get Landon Dickerson right here going against Odigizua right here, right? This boy can play. Right? They definitely solved their problems on the inside, right? When they drafted that one bus. What was that bus dude's name? I forget his name, but they're not having that problem now with this dude. You can see him almost like defensive gentrification, right? Because he gets on Landon Dickerson right here and really rides this laterally, right? Good foot energy and everything. There's really nowhere for this run to go. And then they fill and spill as well. This is just tough to run on right here. But look at Granson. What is Granson doing right here? If you're layering this here, right, it's already bad enough that you can't really establish anything right there in the front, because you can see right here Landon Dickerson is being controlled something serious and being walked laterally. But you bring Calcaterra in to layer it out, right? It's like an onion. What if Granson actually did something right here, right? Why is he looking for work, right? He's one of them dudes, right? If on an all-temp agency team, he be looking for work, but he don't really want to work, right? I mean, I know dudes like that. They just want to sit around and smoke all day. But imagine how he climbed up right here and got the first thing smoking. You can see what is going on right here, bro. Have some sensibility or have some sense about yourself with this. Right? I know that there's an assignment that's going on, but I would just think, all right, there's not going to be nobody for me to block right here. Let me get the first thing that I see in the opposite color jersey. Nope. And look what happens with that dude that he lets go, right? He's taking that presence right there. Just a whole bunch of the waters being muddy. There will be nowhere for him to go, right? They got everything locked off right here. But look at that. That's not on Saquon. At least that one. I forgot. We missed the kick as well. So think about how many self-inflicted wounds that is for that to be the case, to barely lose like that with all them penalties, those turnovers, missing a field goal and all that, right? It goes to show you how great we are or how great we will and can be if we take care of the little things and then take care of the major thing, of course, establishing the line of scrimmage there. But you got boy right here with the Tyrese face, like, you know what I'm saying? What more do you want from me? We want you to make those kicks in the clutch, bro. Like, I don't know. He's been coming up small a lot to me when normally he's pretty money. Obviously, this was a pivotal play. You have Quinyon Mitchell going against George Pickens here in off-man coverage. You get a flat route, which brings Michael Carter across here, and Pickens is running a quick bender. So you get a little bit of interference there in man coverage. Like before, I would like to see them be able to banjo in situations like this, be able to see that this could happen, because if they banjo, Michael Carter would then flip his hips and run with George Pickens on the bender, and then Quinyon Mitchell here would take Turpin going to the flat, and that would make a lot more sense than trying to navigate that with Pickens going this way and then him having to go over Michael Carter, and they ran into each other. Hell of a play call, right, by Schottenheimer, 1-900 Schottenheimer, Shotty. And your boy Pickens was off to the races, man. Damn, that's a bad one, right? Ran into each other when they could have banjoed that shit, switched it off there, and, man, maybe we win the game. But definitely ain't winning the game with a long-ass gainer like that. Man, look at this. The Sidney Brown fans got a chance to see Sidney Brown in the game, and whoop, missing tackles. Boom. But look at this. Once again, suppose this went our way, right? Cooper DeJean on the strip right here, coming through, stripping that John, but it goes out of bounds. Damn, right? It's like we were destined to lose this one right here because it's 21-21. You get that right there, it's a wrap. All right, y'all, coming back with a short week. You know what I want to see? That would be Thanksgiving. Right? I want them to give my man Tank Bigsby as many carries as possible, right? We got to do something about that, right? We'll see right here with the duo, right, running that duo scheme. Tank Bigsby is a no-frills guy. He's not going to be trying to dance around, bro. He's going to boom, boom, get vert. He wants to get vert and leg punishment. That's just what he does. All right, you put him in the game and he get an 8-yard carry and he never sees the ball again. Look at that. Stick the foot in the ground, get vert, make somebody have to pay for it. Look at that. Dual blocking. Everybody's doing good right there, right? Even backside here, front side. You can see him like navigating this, and then he decides where he wants to go, and he's just very decisive in everything that he does, man. Thanksgiving. Get upfield, bang. Some of that right there, but listen, I mean, I don't have much to say beyond that, man. This was a bad drawing, and hopefully we rectify that shit really quick, man. I don't want to be some type of passing team to satiate the desires of some casual fans who just want to win some fantasy points, man. I want to win, right? And you win by establishing the line of scrimmage. I don't know how many times we must say that, right? Notice, right, we start turning the ball over, getting penalties, passing the ball all around the yard, getting them empty calorie yardage, and what happens? We lose again. But when we don't turn the ball over, we try to establish the line of scrimmage. I mean, it may not look pretty, but the end result is always pretty, baby, when you could throw a W up in the column. So that's exactly what I want to see there, man. But other than that, man, I'm saying, not having a good Sunday, and definitely not having a good Monday starting off with this right here. But we'll get it rectified. We'll be back on it. We're going to win that Super Bowl, so you can laugh now, right? But you're going to be crying later. So I know all the Cowgirls fans gonna be all up in here and shit. Like, hopefully not, right? Hopefully they learned their lesson over the years. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's all good. Hats off to the Cowgirls. They played, you know what I'm saying, some really good football in the second half. No doubt about that, right? Tell the two halves. You can't win the game in the first half. So yeah. That being said, man, salute to all my villains out there, baby. We'll be back here shortly, right? I want to get into some of the more stuff on the offense when the All-22 is available. I really want to check in on that defense, too, because at the end of the game, that shit looked crazy, all right? Salute.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.